packaging of DNA helix. See here we are seeing into the human cell DNA. The DNA histone octamer and H1 histone complex are found. Histone proteins are found. The DNA wounds on the octamers twice. Can you see? And so on. And the H1 histone particles are attached to the thing. This is called as a nucleosome. So all the histone particles are getting attached, H1 particles are getting attached to each other. So that is the histone octamer and that is the DNA, and they are getting coiled. This is the side view of a solenoid. This is called as a solenoid. So the solenoids are attached to each other by wounding on itself. So with this length, we are getting about 30 nanometer of solenoid that is going to attach on the scaffold. So it is getting attached to the scaffold. In the scaffold, 300 nanometers are being attached. So it forms a string like this and it circulates over it. We will get a chromosome inside the nucleus. The distance between two consecutive base pairs is 0.34 nanometer. That is 0.34 into 10 to the power of minus 9 meter of the DNA double helix in a typical mammalian cell. If we consider a mammalian cell, we might have get this much of DNA double helix. But we are going to unwind it and we are going to see how much it is. So when the total number of base pairs is multiplied with the distance between two consecutive base pairs. So we are going to count the total number of base pairs. 6.6 into 10 to the power of minus 9 into 3.4 into 10 to the power of minus 9 meter per base pair. So this much number of base pair, 6.6 is the number of base pair into 10 to the power of 9 into 0.34 into 10 to the power of 9 meters is here. So this much of base pairs is present. So the total length of DNA double helix is approximately 2.2 meters. Even not ourselves will be in that height. 2.2 means 220 centimeters. So we cannot. Sorry, 200 and okay. The total length of the double helical DNA is equal to total number of base pairs into distance between the two consecutive base pairs. So how this much of thing is kept inside it? Imagine and say, we can't even imagine, right? 2.2 meters of this DNA is kept inside a very small cell. How? If the E. coli, if we take the E. coli DNA, it is of 1.36 millimeter. But the dimension of this E. coli cell is 4 into 10 to the power of 6 meter. So 1.36 into 10 to the power of 3 meter divided by 0.34 into 10 to the power of minus 9. So it cannot be placed in there. The length of the DNA double helix is far greater than the dimension of a typical mammalian cell, mammalian nucleus itself, because we have a DNA of approximately 10 to 6 meters long. So the chromosomes are the carriers of the genes which are responsible for various characters from generation to generation. Am I right? So we have the chromosomes inside which we have the DNA. So Duprat, he proposed a single stranded model called as Unini as a long coiled molecule which is associated with histone proteins in eukaryotes. He just stated that with a single stranded model. But the plants and animals have DNA than bacteria and must fold this inside, and it should be kept into the nucleus of the cell. So in E. coli, though they don't have a defined nucleus, the DNA is not scattered throughout the cell. It is also kept inside a nucleoid. So the DNA being negatively charged and is held with some proteins that have positive charge, and they are kept in a region called as nucleoid. The DNA as a nucleoid is organized to large loops held by some proteins. DNA of prokaryotes is almost circular and lacks a chromatin organization. So they are called as genophore. They don't have a circular nucleus and they don't have a nuclear membrane, and they lack chromatin organization also. So they are called as genopore. In eukaryotes, this organization is much more complex. In eukaryotes, yes, normally prokaryotes, when compared with prokaryotes, eukaryotes have much more complex organization than every other aspect. So we have a chromatin which is formed by a series of repeating units called as a nucleosome. So Kornberg proposed a model for this nucleosome in which two molecules of 4 histone proteins, as that of H2A, H2B, H3 and H4, are organized to form a unit of 8 molecules called histone octamer. So 4 histone proteins of 2 each forms 8. 4 2s are 8. So histone octamer is formed. Octo means 8. The negatively charged DNA is wrapped around the positively charged histone octamer to form a structure called as a nucleosome. So the DNA gets wound over the histone octamer. A typical nucleosome contains 200 base pair of DNA helix. So one nucleosome means 200 base pairs. Histone octamers are in close contact and the DNA is coiled on the outside of the nucleosome. So after these octamers are formed, the DNA is getting coiled outside the nucleosome also. Neighboring nucleosomes are connected by linker DNA called H1 that is exposed to enzymes. So the neighboring nucleosomes are connected to one another with the help of this H1 linker, and they are exposed by the help of some enzymes. The DNA makes 2 complete turns around the histone octamers, and the 2 turns are sealed off by an H1 molecule. So DNA makes 2 turns around one octamer, and 2 turns are sealed off by one H1 molecule. After 2 rounds, one H1 will come and circulate. Chromatin lacking H1 has a beads on a string appearance in which DNA enters and leaves the nucleosomes at random places. So when the H1 is lacking, that will be looking like a beads on a string. So if we take a string and join beads together with the string, that will be looking like that. And the DNA enters and leaves the nucleosome at random places. H1 of one nucleosome can interact with H1 of the neighboring nucleosome. Thereby, the folding will be further produced. So one H1 will fold up with the another H1. So it will create a folding. The chromatin fiber in interphase nuclei and mitotic chromosomes have a diameter that vary between 200 to 300 nanometer and represents inactive chromatin. So in the interphase and during interphase of mitotic division and as well as mitotic chromosomes, they have the diameter of about 200 to 300 nanometer and they are inactive chromatin. 30 nanometer fiber arises from the folding of nucleosome, changes into solenoid structure having 6 nucleosomes per turn. So 30 nanometer fiber which arises from the folding of one nucleosome contains solenoid structure with 6 nucleosomes per turn. This structure is stabilized by interactions between different H1 molecules. DNA is a solenoid and packed of about 40 folds. So with 40 folds we will be getting this packed. Additional set of proteins are required for packing chromatin at higher level and are referred to as non-histone chromosomal proteins. Non-histone chromosomal proteins, NHC. So this structure utilizes, this structure is getting stabilized with the help of H1 molecules, and DNA has solenoid. DNA is called as a solenoid with 40 folds. Additional to this, there must be proteins for packaging this chromatin at a higher level, and these proteins are called as non-histone chromosomal proteins. In a typical nucleus, some regions of chromatin are loosely packed or lightly stained, and these are referred to as euchromatin. So loosely packed, that means that when we see it in the X-ray sheet, that will be lightly stained. So with that we can say that this is a euchromatin. In some places they will be tightly packed, called as stained darkly. That will be stained darkly. They are called as heterochromatin. Euchromatin is transcriptional, and whereas the heterochromatin is transcriptionally inactive. So euchromatin is active, heterochromatin is inactive with respect to transcription. So levels of DNA packing. So the DNA, the double helix, it is coming around here, and this is the octamers of histone. So you might have studied this. So it is forming a 2 rounds over it, and there is H1 particle. With this H1 particle, it gets attached to each other and it is getting inside the chromosome. So can you see this picture clearly? So this stage is called as the bead on a string. Okay.